Boston Bros is number one thing not, you're dead wrong. You can catch me doing misbehaving with my products on. It's real boxing talk every time we meet with Ned, the TBE, and Conspiracy G. We bring it to you raw, unbiased, you know the deal. You can even get a poor dealer here from Dollar Bill with my guys by my side. You know we going live. All we need you to do is please like and subscribe. Boxing Bros. Peace.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Kated, and I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on? This is Slippery G.
It's the TV, baby.
You know what's up? The country cousin came through. Boxing cousin complex. What's up?
And Trill Dollar Bill couldn't be with us today. So I know everyone's been waiting and you want to hear our reaction to the Mark Breland interview. But first, I have to say rest in peace to Leon Spinks, the former heavyweight champion of the world. You accomplished great things and you will be missed. So we're going to move right along to the interview. And the interview was done by Tunde Ajayi and Spence Farron. And they have a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is called Stamina for Sale. If you want to watch and actually listen to the interview, check out my dog, my boy, Tunde Ajayi and Spence Farron on at Stamina for Sale. Right here, this is their YouTube channel. It's free. You can check out the interview. A lot of people are talking about it. They did a great job. So, fellas, jump in. If I missed something, let me know. Mark Breland said that Deontay Wilder's done. He said that he was in easy. He said that Deontay Wilder doesn't train hard. He said he doesn't hit the heavy bag. He doesn't hit the speed bag. He doesn't jump rope. He said he doesn't run. He said basically that Deontay Wilder is finished. And so with that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Conspiracy G. What was your reaction to the Mark Breland interview?
I'll say this. As a Wilder fan, I have to be real. It was pretty disheartening. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, oh, man. You know, because it's one thing to hear it from other people, right? Like, Kate has been always, like, trashing Wilder about his workouts and everything, which I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as I know somebody on his team or like anyone closely associated with Wilder isn't talking spicy, it's whatever. It's cool, right? But once it was Mark, his former trainer, saying all of this, then it had me a little nervous, you know? And I couldn't chop it up to hate because when they asked Mark about, like, you know, Wilder versus AJ, he still favored Wilder in that fight. And then, you know, he started talking about how he could beat AJ. And then, like, even when he was talking about Floyd Mayweather with Sweet Pea and stuff, and I'm like, so I think he believes everything that he's saying. And so that's what kind of put me at the, oh, man, Wilder, like, please, bro, like, this is a make or break moment right now. And so, like, I'm going to give Wilder still the benefit of the doubt, right? He did get exposed by Fury. However, I'm saying just allow Deontay to redeem himself, right? Now, I'm assuming he's making changes in his camp. Allegedly, we've heard Malik Scott is now his assistant coach or something. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna clown him yet. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see his next two performances, because if it's Charles Martin's next performance, you know, no disrespect to Charles Martin, but it's not like Charles Martin's like a world beater or anything. So it's like, yeah, Charles Martin's cool, but I need to see an elite level opponent for Deontay Wilder. And if Wilder could beat a certified top 10, top tier fighter, then I could be like, all right, you know what? Wilder, you still good, this and third. But if he loses again, right, in his next match, Lord forbid, if he loses to Charles Martin, then I think it's safe to say, all right, yo, Wilder, it was a good run, bro. You're done. But I just want to give him the opportunity. So just like, you know, we didn't write off AJ after he messed up with Andy Ruiz, I just want to believe that, you know, we should give him that opportunity. And then if he loses, then it's like, all right, yo, Mark was right. You know, dude's done, he's finished, whatever. But just because he said it doesn't mean it's true, right? Because I always feel like willpower means something. Wilder still has killer instinct. He still has that right hand. So, you know, these are little attributes. They're not spectacular, but they're enough to at least win a match. So let him prove it in the ring. You know what I mean? And hopefully Wilder can prove Mark wrong.
All right, Ned the
Hey, why you looking
TVE.
at me like that, man? That's crazy, son.
Ned the TVE.
Man, listen, that interview, that was unexpected when I saw that they posted it and then saw what Mark had to say. It was surprising, and it was expected. Like Mark would get his get back one day against Wilder for all the slander Wilder did to this man, and I respect what Mark Breland said. Like he put everything we knew. He verified everything we knew about Wilder. The man doesn't train. He doesn't train at a champion level. The man, his best fight was Ortiz. His best win was Ortiz, and Wilder's done. Like we all know that. We all know that thing. Hey, that's what's up. I loved it. I loved Breland took an X-Lax before this interview, and he went all out on Wilder, and I loved it. It was amazing.
That's
it was
great.
perfect. So I appreciate what Breland. I appreciate you. I heard Wilder has some things to say. I don't even know what he said yet. So that's gonna be I want to hear what this clown got to say. But shout out to Mark Breland.
All right, Complex, get in there.
Yeah, man. No, it was a good shout out to them for getting Mark Breland to talk. It was a good interview. I implore everybody to go watch it if you haven't watched it and check out their channel. But that was a really good interview. Look, Mark said a lot of things, right? It was funny because I feel like AJ fans were probably excited, like, oh snap, Mark Breland, he's talking, he's about to let it all loose. And then he said all that stuff about AJ too, and they're like, damn. It's almost like a prosecutor when you got a star witness, but then they perjure themselves. It's like, man, why'd you say all that stuff? We were about to use all this testimony. Now we got to throw it out. No, look, it is what it is. Mark, obviously, like I said, I was not happy with the things Wilder said, especially about Mark. I think it was completely unfair. I think it was baseless to accuse him, and even just to kind of give that kind of malice towards him. If y'all want to break apart and go set your separate ways, that's fine. Because honestly, listening to the interview, Mark Breland seems like he's had a lot of beef with Wilder for a while, and then with Wilder's response, it seems like they've had kind of issues, and maybe it was mostly just a working relationship, not really like, you know what I mean? So, and that's fine, and that's the business, and that's how things go in life. But just Mark said a lot of things, and I'm trying to cover most of them. Mark obviously said the things he said about Wilder. I'm not surprised. Do I take it as a big like reveal? Not really, because he obviously was just fired from the camp. I mean, he wouldn't have said any of this if he was still hired, right? If he was still Wilder's trainer, he's not going to say anything like that. He's going to say Wilder's the best thing since sliced bread. So I take it, with a grain of salt. I'm not saying I completely disqualify everything he says, but also this is a man who's just been fired. Also, his former fighter has kind of dragged his name through the mud, so he's going to kind of throw some mud back. The comments about, he said Wilder's done and Wilder can't beat Fury anyways, right? Okay, fine. One, he may be right. He may not be able to beat Fury. We don't know, right? Sometimes a guy has got your number, right? We also have to remember Fury's got height advantage, weight advantage. He's younger. So Wilder beating him would have been an uphill battle anyways. I still think Wilder can beat him in a fight. It just depends on what happens that night. Obviously, anything can happen. But it says a lot when your trainer is like, oh, you can't beat this guy, right? I think that's tough. I don't know. Has Breland always believed in him? I don't know. But I can see why they shouldn't work together. Because if your trainer says, oh, I can't beat you, you can't beat this man, right? The trainer's got to believe in you more than you even believe in yourself, right? Your trainer is your backbone. They gotta support you. So it probably was for the best that they're not working together, because at least your trainer needs to believe. When you're going into battle, you got to believe that this is your fighter is the best and they can win. If they can't believe it, then how can you believe it? You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Breland said a lot though, and I'm not mad at him. Wilder's training. He says that he doesn't hit the heavy bag, he doesn't hit the speed bag, and that's fine. I mean, look, people always say, "Oh, well, you got to do this and that." For this, from my perspective, is that Wilder's beaten guys who do all that stuff, right? There is no one way to do anything, right? There's different paths to the same destination. Wilder's training may be unorthodox, but for him it works, right? Until you prove otherwise. Now he just lost to Tyson Fury. Fine. If you want to say that's enough, just to change up his training tactics, maybe. But like G said, let's see how he performs against some other guys. Maybe he does have to, but we don't know that yet. So you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. People do different kinds of training methods. Vladimir Klitschko didn't like to run, but he would swim, right? Because that's just what he did. So people do different things based off what they're comfortable with. And then I'll just finish on his comments about AJ and Floyd. Look, Mark Breland may be the biggest hater in the world, or he may be the realest dude in the world, but he was everything you're saying is like he believes what he's saying. So it is like I'm not mad at him. He says AJ doesn't have a jab. I wouldn't go as far as to say AJ doesn't have a jab, but I think Breland's a very old school guy, and he's seen excellent jabs, and he's like, that ain't an excellent jab. So in his mind, yeah, he doesn't have a jab. He also believes, that Fury will get in AJ's head, because that's obviously he's seen that with Wilder. He think he's gonna believe, certain things. I think he favors Fury in the fight. He thinks Fury's gonna beat him. And it was a real interesting interview. He said some stuff about Floyd, how he feels like he might have been able to beat Floyd, I think, or he wish he would have fought Floyd. But then also he talked about Sweet Pea and how Sweet Pea was better than Floyd. This is all debatable. I mean, Floyd's obviously one of the best to ever do it, but there's also guys out there who some people believe could have beaten Floyd. But these are those kind of fantasy matchups that we'll never know. So that's just up to discussion, and you can debate that as much as you want, but you're gonna get different answers from different folks. But it was a great interview. Shout out to Breland for coming to speak out, and I'm not mad at him. He has every right to defend himself. If somebody talks about you that way, you're gonna come back and do the same thing, So it was a good interview.
Hold on, I got a question for you, Complex. Who will win, Mark Breland versus AJ?
You give Breland a 12-week training camp.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? He might be able to. All he got to do is hit. He said it in an interview before. He's like, AJ, when he gets hit, all of a sudden he starts just kind of getting discombobulated. And he's kind of right. That's kind of been my feeling about AJ for some time. Like, if you could put hands on him, and it's the same thing that people say about Wilder is like the same thing you could say about AJ. Like, if you pressure him and you put pressure on him, he's gonna get discombobulated, and he doesn't know how to defend himself. And if you to walk in there without like already thinking you're gonna lose, as I've heard Caden say about Wilder. So it's just funny how people feel. No, I mean, obviously, as an old man, look, any boxer, any professional fighter is gonna believe they could beat anybody in the world. They just need the good. They just, if you come out, if I show up on that night, I'm gonna beat anybody in the world. You know what I mean? So that's him. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I could beat him right now. I could beat whoever right now. And he's like 68 and he's like almost falling over, but he's like, look, he's a fighter. He's a fighter's fighter. He thinks he's gonna beat somebody. He'll try.
Let the record reflect that this is Mark Breland's comments on Deontay Wilder, and the Wilder fans still have to find a way to try to discredit AJ.
He talked about AJ.
Talked about AJ, but y'all,
that's why y'all can't use this too much. You're like, well, he said that about Wilder, but he also said that about AJ.
Don't worry. When it gets to me, toast. All right, Trill Dollar Bill. You saw and you heard the interview with Mark Breland. His comments basically, just to run them down, Deontay Wilder's finished. He was matched easy. He only has one good win. He said that Deontay Wilder can't beat Tyson Fury. He said Deontay Wilder doesn't train. He doesn't hit the heavy bag. He doesn't hit the speed bag. He doesn't jump rope, and he doesn't run. What was your reaction to the interview and Mark Breland's comments?
It was about time they let the homie speak. He was sitting there saying, the OG was sitting there saying he ain't with the games, His lady be doing his social media, you know what I'm saying? And his lady was the one that told him, you need to get up on here, you know what I'm saying, to say something. So he was like, all right, whatever, And he did what the OGs do, He basically went out there and kept it a buck. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think he did. He went out there and kept it a buck. There's no it wasn't like I didn't get a lot of surprise. It wasn't like a surprise. You know what I'm saying? It was a surprise finally hear it come out of his mouth, but the things he was saying wasn't a surprise. We don't mention these things on Boxing Bros. Please, folks, if you haven't, please go check out our old Boxing Bros videos. We have more than just the recent ones you've seen. We got some in the dope in the archives that are A1, you know. But yeah, we said these things about Wilder, things he needed to work on. So I thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't hiding and somebody wasn't speaking for Mark. And, you know, he just wasn't a one-sided attack on Mark. Mark got a chance to speak his piece, which I thought was dope. As it pertains to Wilder, I thought that was dope, and he said a lot of things that you know that we already said, and definitely Caden has said plenty of times. and I'm sure everybody done seen the Wilder edits. You know what I'm saying? Not the audits, the edits. You know what I'm saying? We edited out all the BS. You know, so yeah, I thought that was pretty dope. So shout out to Mark.
And for all of those, you can check out the Wilder edits or audits on our playlist on the YouTube channel.
Dope.
You can also check out Making a Bronze Bomber because there's a lot of the zones doing their like making of Anthony Joshua, making of Triple G. And I do think like you can see the transition of Deontay Wilder, the guy who was fighting for his daughter to feed his family, to help his daughter with spinal bifida, and then the creation of this guy who wants to kill a man in the ring. But
yeah.
As a side note, I'm trying to give game because when you watch the Boxing Bros, we want to help you out with more than just boxing. We want to help you with swag. We want to help you with, you know, if you got to put someone in their place in a debate. And so when I was coming up, you know, I grew up with no money. I grew up rocking Payless. I was talking to G about this. Like we were rocking them Payless kicks, and the sneaker that was the big deal. Usher was wearing them. All the cool kids was wearing them. All the kids whose family was on, you know, welfare and they had food stamps just like me, just that their parents wanted the front like they had the money, were rocking these. The Air Griffey Max 1. And I could never afford these. And like, so when I, you know, got older, became successful, one of the things I had to do was I had to get my hands on a pair of these. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it. And I never, ever wear these. These just stay in a box, right? And the reason why I'm telling you about these are they're being re-released on February 15th. And if you have a chance, get your hands on a pair of these because I'm telling you, I'll never wear these, but I'm gonna go and buy a few more. And maybe I'll wear it, maybe I won't. But I had to get them. They're being re-released, so I want to put you up on game. Now, to something that's not as fresh as those kicks. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. So Complex said something that isn't actually true. He said that he purged himself, and so you can't use the information that Mark Breland said in that interview. I dispute that, and I'm going to refresh Mark Breland. You separate. Mark Breland can testify to what he has firsthand knowledge of. What you have firsthand knowledge of is something you've seen, something you heard, something you smelled, something you felt, right? You have firsthand knowledge of that. So a lot of the things that Mark Breland said about Deontay Wilder, he has firsthand knowledge of. So if you want to take anything, if you extract anything from that interview, you will pay attention and you will respect the things that he said that he has firsthand knowledge of. Now, the things he said about Anthony Joshua, the things he said about Floyd Mayweather, those are opinions. Now, his opinions you can take with a grain of salt. But the things he said about Deontay Wilder come from firsthand knowledge. So you should definitely take that seriously. And so therefore, I refresh Mark Breland because Mark Breland spoke and testified from firsthand knowledge when he was talking about Deontay Wilder. So what are the things he said? Deontay Wilder doesn't hit the heavy bag. Deontay Wilder doesn't hit the speed bag. Deontay Wilder doesn't run. He doesn't jump rope. You heard me say that, like Trill, I've been saying that for the longest time. How can you be a great in the sport, but you don't do what the greats have done? You don't respect the fundamentals of that sport. That's like Usain Bolt running track. And then when they tell him to practice coming out the blocks, he's like, I got my own methods. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my own thing. And they're like, yeah, but you come out the block slow. Your methods, oh yeah, you catch people on the back end, but you keep coming out the block slow. The best way is, no, I got my own methods. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you don't see that with elite level athletes. They follow training, they follow the rules. But here's what you have with Mark Breland. This guy won't even hit the bag. This guy won't hit the speed bag. This guy won't jump rope. You understand what I'm saying?
Remember?
Oh yeah, he got trainers holding the mitts, and the trainers doing more work than the fighter. And that was a shot at JD's. I know it was. I know it was a shot at JD's. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. The other thing that Mark Breland said that I thought was key was he said that Tyson Fury's mind games worked on Deontay Wilder. He said it worked on Deontay Wilder. I'm going to get back to that in a second. Now, he said Wilder's been matched easy. Well, hello, that's what the artists were all about. Because I kept hearing, oh, you knocked out this guy, you knocked out that guy. Yo, this dude was knocking out easy fighters. He was knocking out guys who didn't have a chance to fight back. Complex said, oh, Caden said everyone who went in the ring with Wilder didn't think they had a chance to win. Same with AJ. So I'll just dispute that by saying this. Charles Martin walked this earth like a god, right? Dillian White thought he was going to smash Anthony Joshua, okay? Vladimir Klitschko didn't go in there to lay down. You cannot tell me that. Not at all. Joseph Parker looked timid in the fight, but before the fight, he kept saying that he saw flaws in Joshua and he was going to expose Joshua, right? Kubrat Pulev didn't come there to lay down. Kubrat Pulev was feeling himself in the press conference, and Povetkin had never been stopped. Povetkin had never been stopped before he fought Anthony Joshua, and your man Wilder didn't want no smoke with him. So you know what I'm saying? His names.
I'm not even gonna respond to that.
His names that I just mentioned: Pulev, Povetkin, Dillian White, Joseph Parker, Vladimir Klitschko, and so I mean I could keep going. The bottom line is this: all those guys didn't come to lay down. And all those guys are absent from Deontay Wilder's resume. So please don't sit here and act like Anthony Joshua's been fighting the same caliber of garbage that Deontay Wilder has been fighting. He was matched easy, period. First-hand knowledge, Mark Breland stated he was matched easy. And Mark Breland would know because he's a part of the team. You know, they go to the trainer and they say, yeah, we thinking about putting Deontay Wilder in there with Anthony Joshua. Breland was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Give him Ortiz. Give him the old guy. Which brings me to the next point. One good win. Even Mark Breland said he got one good win. First-hand knowledge. This is his former trainer. So I don't want to hear, oh, if he was still Deontay Wilder's trainer, he would be saying he's the best thing since sliced bread because he'd still be on the payroll. When I'm on the payroll, I'll tell you my job's great. When I'm off the payroll, I'm going to tell you everything I did not like about that job. Once Deontay Wilder called him a disloyal trainer and took him off the payroll, Mark Breland had the right to speak the truth. And the truth is he got one good win, not two because he beat the same guy twice. One good win. One good win. And then in the last episode, it was pretty cute, Complex, when I said that Fury got up and you said that little 20 seconds under your breath and I couldn't hear you. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's talk about that 20 seconds that Deontay Wilder got the very next round after Ortiz almost stopped him. Yeah, y'all pick and choose the 20 seconds you want to bring up. When it helps your boy, you let it slide. But when it goes against your boys, and also there was no 20 seconds. That count was clean. All you got to do is look at the time from when Fury hits the ground, look at an objective standpoint, the clock that's keeping time for the round. You'll see that Fury beat the count. So the other thing is this Wilder killer instinct. This is my last point. And I'm glad we got Trill Dollar Bill back. Trill, we didn't think we were going to get Trill. Trill said, hey, I'm here. Let me in. So, Trill can close us out. We got Trill in the building. This killer instinct I keep hearing about Wilder, only Wilder fans see it. Only Wilder fans see it. When he was talking that, he said this, and you can look this up like Trill said, we got the videos. Deontay Wilder said this to Tyson Fury. Have you ever looked into a killer's eyes, Tyson? Tyson Fury said, I looked in plenty of killers' eyes, bum. I'm not looking at a killer, I'm looking at a pussycat. Right? He knew Wilder was not no killer. He knew Wilder was a punk. He told Wilder he was a punk. He told Wilder he was a punk to his face. And then in the very next scene, he was crying to his girl. So, Complex and G, if I got into an argument, so this is the double standard that Wilder fans have. If I got into an argument with a dude, and then immediately after they saw me crying to my girlfriend, they called me a punk. But when Wilder does it, it's killer instinct. You know what I mean? Now, if I had my hair in a ponytail, if I had my hair slicked in a little Fizz ponytail, my pants below my waist, and twerking in the streets, they would call me something. They would be yelling all types of pauses and be like, yo, D, we can't hang out with you no more. Yo, K, we can't hang out with you no more. But when it comes to Wilder, that's killer instinct. Now, if I lost fair and square and I blamed it on someone spiking my water, I blamed it on egg weights in the glove, I blamed it on the ref, I blamed it on everyone, they would call me a sore loser. But when it comes to Wilder, that's killer instinct. I told G this before, and I'm going to tell everyone this again. I see the punk in Wilder. That's how I knew Fury was going to obliterate this guy. He will poke his chest out against Dominic Breazeale because he can look at Dominic Breazeale and see what I see. Man titties. Okay? He knows what's up. He knows what he's going to do to Dominic Breazeale. Okay? He's confident against Dominic Breazeale. He can look at Luis Ortiz and see what I see. A geriatric in boxing shoes. So he's confident against Luis Ortiz. But when he had the first real fight against the lineal champ, another undefeated fighter, another man who's beaten someone like Vladimir Klitschko, he cowered like a coward. And he's still cowering because this man gave us 2 unnecessary rematches. Oh, he beat Luis Ortiz, and then he just decided to give us the other rematch against Luis Ortiz that nobody asked for. He beat Bermain Stavern and decided when Bermain Stavern was in even worse shape, couldn't even breathe at the press conference, he was going to fight Bermain Stavern again. But somehow, he didn't give us the third fight against Tyson Fury, the man who beat him like he stole something and made his corner throw in the towel. That's the rematch people were like, okay, let's see what you got now. Killer instinct. And what did he do? He gave us an excuse. I don't want to hear nothing about this dude. He's finished. The same way that Mark Breland said he was finished. Mark Breland knows he's finished. Mark Breland's not mad about being fired. He's happy he got fired because he knew he couldn't beat Tyson Fury from the jump. He knew it. Mark Breland knew going into this fight, this is going to be an ass whooping. Their cherry pick almost worked until it didn't. He's finished. He's exposed and everybody knows it. His killer instinct. No, go ahead, Nate.
Nah, I was gonna tell Complex fix his face, but he started smiling. So thank you.
Go ahead, Complex. If you got something to say, go ahead.
Look, man, you said a whole lot there. It's like so much bullshit, a bunch of bullshit. I can't even keep up. But look, the killer instinct, whatever. You mentioned a bunch of names.
You can't say nothing about that. Your man got yo. Tell me this: if you walked in on me with my pants below my waist, my hair in a greased up ponytail, and I was twerking, my dude, what's good? What you gonna say about that?
You're gonna walk back out the room. Be like one of those. Obviously busy. No, look, man. Wilder's done whatever. You could say, look. At the end of the day, Wilder lost to the number 1 heavyweight. This is why I keep bringing it up. He lost one fight to the one guy. First off, the same guy, Tyson Fury, who's unbeaten, never lost. Vladimir Klitschko couldn't beat him. Wilder has done better than Vladimir Klitschko because Wilder at least was able to put hands on him, was able to drop him twice. Klitschko, the longest reigning champion, wasn't even able to do that. So all this talk about Wilder done, let's just wait and see. Honestly, this is like becoming so, we're doing so much talking. I want to see Wilder fight. Also, I want to clarify a few things you said. You said Povetkin, Wilder was afraid to fight him. Povetkin failed a PED test. He failed a PED test. That's why the fight didn't happen. See, these are the things that Caden will say, but not try to give you the extra details. But that's fine because he's on a roll. I don't like to stop. I don't like to stop him because he's on a roll.
Drug test and then what?
He's on a roll and then he's feeling.
No. Tell the people what happened.
He failed the drug test. He failed the drug test, so the fight got postponed by the WBC.
And then what happened?
And then he failed another drug test against Tavern. Well, he was supposed to get.
No.
He did fail another drug. Did he not? Did he not? So he failed another drug test against Tavern.
So he
failed 2 drug tests.
Did not win a lawsuit against Deontay Wilder? Did Povetkin not win a lawsuit against Deontay Wilder? Because
he won the lawsuit because of the trace amounts or whatever. So then he was going to get a second.
Because the trace amounts or whatever, right?
But you failed a drug test. So, hold on. Wilder was in the UK about to fly to Russia, and then he fails a drug test. I'm supposed to fly to your country. I'm already coming to your country. I'm already doing all that to fight you.
Skipping. Why are you talking about Wilder flying? We're not talking about Wilder flying.
We're gonna get this. We're talking about sideways. It's gonna go sideways.
The fact that Povetkin won the lawsuit because
he won a lawsuit
that never should have postponed the fight.
But how did it not postpone a fight? You failed a drug test. The drug test not postpone a fight.
The fight should have happened.
The fight should not have happened.
It wasn't Povetkin's fault.
So you're gonna
Povetkin won the lawsuit.
So it's not Povetkin's fault. So okay, then great. So you got a second chance, and that's why they had a final eliminator versus Tavern. And then what happened? Tavern was in Russia, and he failed another drug test. So cool. So this guy, he's just a poor guy, and Wilder didn't give him a chance. Well, he failed another drug test. So this is the guy that
Wilder. When it came to Wilder, I don't know about Stavern. This stuff you're talking about Stavern.
Oh, you don't know about Stavern? Okay.
What's a fact?
But let me tell you. Wilder, you said you don't know about Stavern. You say you don't know about Stavern. You don't know about Stavern. You say you don't know about Stavern. Tavern and Povetkin were supposed to fight another eliminator to fight Deontay Wilder as the mandatory. The reason why you saw Tavern too is because when Tavern was supposed to fight Ortiz, who failed the drug test, they moved that out because Ortiz failed the drug test. So that's when Tavern stepped in because Tavern became automatically the mandatory challenger when Povetkin failed the drug test. So all these guys who are about to fight Wilder failing drug tests. That's why he fought the second time.
You just said Ortiz failed the drug test, right? So Ortiz didn't get the fight. But Wilder was okay fighting him. Why not fight Povetkin?
Because Povetkin failed 2 drug tests.
You keep it yourself. Go ahead, bro.
What are you talking about? He failed 2 drug tests. First off, the Ortiz drug test, they said it failed because he had medication he was taking that is what made the result. So he ended up fighting him anyways. But Wilder would have fought Povetkin again had Povetkin beat Stavern, which he probably would have, but then he failed another drug test. So you're gonna keep failing drug tests, and I'm just gonna have to come chase after you? Come on, man. Wilder haters don't even make sense sometimes, dog.
I wish Tavern was taking drugs. He would have had last time. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe that's why you see Tavern. All these guys.
Move on. Address some other stuff. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
When I say killer instinct for Deontay Wilder, I'm talking about in the ring. All that stuff he doing outside the ring got no. Hey, listen, I don't co-sign a lot of stuff that he does outside the ring. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is,
that's irrelevant. Yeah, outside the ring's completely irrelevant to this.
Let's talk about inside the ring then. When he dropped Tyson Fury, in I think it was the 9th round, what was the killer instinct? He didn't kill Tyson Fury. When he dropped Tyson Fury in the 12th round, look this up. Tyson Fury got up and started kicking his ass. So where's the killer instinct? Then in the second, I'll tell you who got killer instinct. Tyson Fury. From the moment he dropped Deontay Wilder in that second fight, he finished him. You see what I'm saying?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He finish him.
He didn't finish him.
Well, the corner.
Finish him 7 rounds later.
He didn't finish him.
What round did he finish him? So he dropped him in the 3rd.
Don't do the argument, please.
No, he didn't finish him.
Are you serious?
He was on his feet. He was on his feet.
If they didn't throw in that towel, you would have saw your man leave flat on his back.
Bro, you talking about killer instinct and finishing. I'm just clearing. I'm just clarifying. That's not a finish.
Complex? Are you serious?
Complex ain't rocking with this part.
No, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever.
First off, let us know how y'all feel in the comment section.
Yo,
please like and subscribe.
Hold on.
Let us know how you're feeling. This can go on and on
Don't
and
roll
on.
The credits yet.
That's why we got to set up the debate. That's why we got to set up the debate because this can go on and on and on. We got to make a part 2 to this just for the sake of the video and time. Please like and subscribe. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. And look, you can check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And you can hit up my man Complex on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.
The Boxing Bros Debate League.
See what Wilder do? You see what Wilder be doing?